Today's 80th anniversary of the Japanese attack on Pearl Harbor. I'm not even sure whether that's taught in school anymore or not with all the curriculum they got, gender studies and trans studies and critical race theory and all the other BS that they're teaching in schools anymore. I don't even think they teach about September 11th, 2001 hardly. It's snowing again. Had a couple days respite here where we were able to get some other things done or catch up on the last snowfalls. We got up and got the roof shoveled off, thankfully, and then got a few other things done to clean up from the last bunches of snow we've had. Started snowing early this morning. I went out and put a little wood on the fire in the shop. It was just starting to snow then. That was about 1:30 this morning. It didn't really start heavy until about 5 o'clock, something like that. Now we got about 6-7 inches of snow on the ground, and it's still snowing pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff moved out of the way and cleaned up a little bit. Try to get ahead of it a little bit. Supposed to snow all day today, I guess tomorrow morning, and then let up again a little bit. Snow is still in the forecast for the foreseeable future, so I'm going to try to keep up with it here. Probably going to have to take the tracks off the Bobcat. It was working okay with the tracks on it when it was warm. It got cold the last few days. It got down to about 15 or lower overnight and only warmed up to about 20. And that snow that we had was wet and heavy. Like I said, it was doing okay as long as it was fairly warm, but when it got cold like that, that snow started building up in the tracks and tightened those up pretty tight. It just froze in there hard in the tracks. This Bobcat with those rubber tires on there, it's not self-cleaning. Snow will build up inside, gets packed down in there on the tracks and freezes hard, so it winds up being really tight in there. So looks like I'm going to have to take those off and put the chains on for the rest of the winter. So far, it doesn't look like we're going to get any respite from this moisture. We've been getting steady moisture flow into this area for 4 months now, I guess. August, we got over 14 inches of rain. September, we got 17 inches of rain. October, we got 17 or 18 inches of rain. I don't know what the November totals were yet. It kind of looks like we're in a wet weather pattern. The temperature is right there on that edge where it's gonna snow. If we get a high pressure areas up in the north that build up and they come down here real strong and heavy, they'll set up just on the other side of the mountains, and that'll keep the moisture away and kind of move it either south of us down into the States or north of us up the peninsula and into the mainland of Alaska. If those high pressure ridges move farther east inland into Canada and don't come down here, then we get the warm moist air coming in off the coast, and we'll get mostly warm weather, 35, 40 degrees, something like that, and a lot of rain. Looks like we got a compromise right now where the cold weather is holding just far enough out where we're getting cold air and the warm air coming in over the top of it, and we're getting snow. That looks like what our pattern is going to be for a while. So I guess I've got a pretty good idea what I'm going to be doing for the most part, and that's just plowing snow and taking care of snow. Oh, anyway, that's what it looks like. Probably have to shovel this roof off of the porch roof that goes over the basement. I'll probably have to shovel that off because that's fairly flat too, and that gets all the snow built up on it from the roof of the house coming down on it. So that one we'll have to shovel it off too. And the hits just keep on coming. It's not precipitating on us right now, but this is kind of the first time in a couple weeks that something hasn't been coming down. Actually, it's kind of cleared up and got blue sky up there above us right now, but it was snowing and raining this morning. Forecast is for heavy snow and heavy rain tonight. Temperatures warmed up above 32, so we're getting a little bit of drizzly, rainy stuff. What snow's coming is pretty wet. We don't really get time to do much of anything else except deal with the snow between keeping the driveway plowed out, things shoveled off and stuff. We've got quite a bit of snow been on the house roof here. That sheds off of it fine, and a little porch roof here is steep enough that it sheds off of it. Although it's been hammered enough that I've got one rafter on there that's buckled, so I'm going to have to sister something in there on that rafter. I was hoping to get that thing taken down and a timber frame porch put on there, but that didn't happen yet. I've got a shed roof over the basement. It's a bigger roof, but it's heavier duty roof, and it's holding up pretty good. But it's a flatter pitch roof, so the snow doesn't slide off of it on its own. We've got all that accumulation of snow off of the roof on there, so there's about 4 foot of snow on there in the middle of that. So I'm going to have to get up and clean that off, because if it freezes, that'll be a real nightmare. That'll all turn to ice because it's gotten pretty wet. You can see the icicles hanging down off of the roof there. Snow the last couple of days, it was cold and that was pretty powdery, but it's warmed up and drizzled on it now, so everything's gotten soaked and it'll get heavy. So I got to get that cleaned off of there. Then I got to get the snow cleaned off of the cistern. It's already buckled. It's not going into the tank yet, but if I let it go any longer, it'll go right into the tank. And then there's another shed over there that has the wall panels for the addition in it, and that one was never meant to have a bunch of snow on it. And once I get that cleaned off, that'll fill the driveway back up again, and I'll have to go shovel the driveway out again. So anyway, I better get busy. That shed roof, cover over the basement door, is all cleaned off. That was at least 4 foot deep there in the middle of it, where that snow had been coming off the roof and packing up there. But even more than that, it was compacted pretty tight and froze down there on the bottom of it. It was ice about 6-8 inches thick down at the bottom. Well, I took the top layer off first for a couple of reasons. One, it gave me a place to walk. Metal roofing can get kind of slippery when it's wet like that, and it is warming up. Even where I took the snow off where it wasn't froze down, that started getting wet and slippery pretty fast. So I always leave a little bit on there to stand on, kind of follow my path back, and then clean it up as I go back to where I'm getting off, whether it's a ladder or in this case part of the porch that's going to be there for the front. Anyway, that was a lot of weight on that little porch. We got it all off of there now. I could feel it spring up as I was taking some of those chunks off of there. So pretty weighty project. Well, that one's done. I'm kind of a little tired right now, so I'm not going to go do anything. I'm going to take a little break for a little bit, go get a drink of water and take a little break for a little bit before I tackle any of these other ones. Kind of a schizophrenic day today. Forecast says it's supposed to be heavy snow and with mixed rain today and tonight, a little bit tomorrow. We are getting a little bit of rain once in a while and snow once in a while, but it's mainly just short little squalls. It's not amounting to anything. Right now we got blue sky over the top of us with cumulus clouds all around. Did see some sunshine for a minute there a little while ago, but didn't last very long. It's warmed up. It's about 36 degrees now. So all this snow is kind of nasty. It's squishy, soft. It's not slushy yet, but it's squishy. It's melting. There's water coming off of every place. We got about three inches of snow on the driveway there from the last few days, and then we got another inch overnight. Well, I got the roof cleaned off of the basement entryway there yesterday, and then I went around to the other side of the house and cleaned off the cistern. I didn't take it all the way down to the cover over the cistern because I got thinking it's supposed to get cold here now in the next few days. This warm front goes by. It's supposed to drop down again into the teens and even into the single digits at night. So that snow adds a little bit of insulation on there. That cistern is only covered about a third of the way around, and that aluminum tank just radiates the heat out of it, or the heat just gets sucked out of it in that cold weather, and that whole tank will freeze solid. And when it does, then we don't have any water in the house. Now, that's not a big disaster because the only thing we use the water for in there is laundry and shower down in the bathhouse. But it's still inconvenient. We just have to run to town to do laundry or to take a shower at the gym. And I got part of the snow scraped off of that little shed there that's got the walls in it for the new house addition. I can't get up on top of that because there's no support there on the tin, not enough for me anyway. We got a snow rake. I got a long handle put on it. Judy's going to try to pull that snow off with that. Anyway, it takes a lot of work to keep everything from falling apart here in the snow. I'm going to go ahead and get the Bobcat going. I've got it going and warming up, and I'm going to go ahead and come down here and clean this driveway out. We've got a heck of a pile of snow there that came off of that porch, and then the 2 or 3 other inches, and plus the wet sloppy snow around here. So I'm gonna go ahead and clean that up a little bit before it freezes hard and see what happens. Anyway, that's what I'm gonna do. Got the driveway all cleaned up again for the time being. We'll see how long it lasts this time. My wife got the rest of that shed over there cleaned off. We got a snow rake. I made a handle for it long enough you could get up there. Got a pretty good pile of snow off of that. So that was good. Getting dark already as clouds came in again. It's starting to snow again. It's only 2:30, but it's already getting dark again. Here a few minutes ago it was bright blue sky above us and really pretty looking up here to the southwest. Big high cumulus clouds, and they were all backlit by the sun. It was really pretty. But it's not pretty now. Anyway, we're cleaned up now until see how much snow comes down this time. Forecast is iffy on whether it's going to snow or rain, but they did say several inches of snow. Not near as bad as up in Haines and Juneau. They're supposed to get 14 to 17 inches of snow. Not complaining too much about it. Well, the doggone weather prophets, even when they get it right, they get it wrong. They'd forecast earlier this week, a longer range forecast or 7-day forecast was that we're supposed to get a winter weather advisory for Thursday night and Friday. Heavy snows, possible rain. And then of course as time went by through the week, they kept downgrading that a little bit more and a little bit more every day. And we did get the snow Wednesday night and Thursday and rain. And last night they took all the warnings off and only showed us having maybe an inch of snow, just showers for the next couple of days. Well, it started snowing about 7:30 last night, maybe a little bit earlier than that, heavy snow. I came out at about midnight, stoked a fire in the shop, and there was over a foot of fresh snow on the ground. Now there's about 2 feet of snow on the ground. So we got to start all over again. I've got the Bobcat warming up down there. I'll start plowing the snow. I just got the fire stoked back up in the shop. I've been waiting until late in the day today to get started at this because, well, as you can see, it's still snowing out here. It's supposed to let up today, maybe just be showered tomorrow. But if we get showered tonight and tomorrow like we did today, we'll have 4 feet of snow on the ground by the morning. Well, anyway, here we are, back in the same old rut again. Never-ending story. We're going to have to get up on the hangar and clean that roof off again and do this roof over here over the basement again. My wife's been out in her chicken coop cleaning it out, and she just got around the edges of it all cleaned out from the snow sliding off the roof when all the snow cut loose and slid back down again on that and almost buried her. She did have one of her ducks get buried the other day. It disappeared. She thought maybe a mink got it, but she got to looking and found a little peephole in the snow bank there and dug it out, and it was a drake. It was fine. I'm not going to film any of this. It's same old stuff. Getting old, and it's only the middle of December. Shouldn't complain any. I just looked at the news today and saw the hurricane or the tornadoes down there in Tennessee and Kentucky and the devastation that caused, and that's just heartbreaking to see all that, the people killed down there and that and stuff. And compared to that, this is paradise. I shouldn't complain about the weather at all. Well, it's 3:30 and it's getting dark. Actually, the other day at 2:30 it was just as dark as this, but this is oh dark 30 here now. I just got done plowing the snow, finished up the driveway, and because we got so much snow I had to bucket it across the highway and dumped it over the bank over there. Meantime, while I was doing that, up here where I started, it's already snowed about 2.5 inches more, and it's snowing heavy right now. Let up a little bit while we were plowing snow, but it's back at it again now. If it snows like this all night, we'll have just as much to do in the morning. We'll see how much they've changed the weather forecast now, because this was only supposed to last today and only supposed to get 1 inch of snow or to 3 inches of snow today, and then 1 inch to 2 inches overnight, and then it's supposed to start clearing up and get cold. They did have it forecast getting down into the teens in the daytime and single digits at night, but now they've changed that to just into the teens. Anyway, that's it. Signing off for tonight. I'll go find something else to do now inside, but it's dark here now, so we're done outside. Well, I finished plowing the snow yesterday afternoon about 3:30 and came up and did a closing video on that. When I did, it was practically a blizzard out here. Well, it looked like we were going to get a big wad of snow again overnight, but I'd no more than put the camera away, come back outside, and it quit snowing, and there was actually a line of blue sky just to the south of us. We were kind of right on the edge of the clouds here, and the moon was shining. Oh, it looked like maybe it was going to clear up a little bit. Well, sometime in the middle of the night, we got about 3-4 more inches of snow on top of the 2 inches we had, so we got about 5 inches of snow here on the ground now. But it's starting to clear up. I got blue sky, broken clouds. I got snowflakes coming down right now. I don't know whether they're coming out of the clouds or whether they're just coming off of the trees, because the wind is blowing a little bit and starting to stir things up a little bit. And there's a lot of snow build up on the tree branches and stuff. That has a tendency to come flying around, making it look like it's snowing. Well, forecast now is for it to clear off for a few days. It looks like we might get a week of clear weather. They were forecasting that, and the temperatures to get down into the single digits, teens during the daytime and single digits at night. But now it looks like it may be just in the teens. We'll see. So we're going to get a little break in the snow. I'm going to go ahead and get the Bobcat going and clean up this mess that was left overnight here. One of the reasons I want to do that is if it's going to freeze hard, I want the ground to freeze up. There's a couple of places where I'm pushing the snow where the ground is mushy underneath, and with the tracks on it I can get through it and stuff, and it works out okay, but I'm going to wind up taking the tracks off that Bobcat. They're just not working out as well as I could have hoped. So I'm going to take the tracks off and put the tire chains on it. If I do that, then those places where the ground is soft and mushy we would sink into, but if we get a good freeze for a few days, that'll harden up harder than concrete. You'll be able to run pretty good like that. Anyway, like I said, it looks like we're going to get a break. I was going to go shovel the roof off of the hangar today, figuring we'd get a couple feet of snow last night, and that didn't happen. Some of these other roofs and stuff, again, are going to have to be cleaned off again, but we're going to have a break, I guess. We don't need to get in a big hurry about it right now. Anyway, that's all assuming that the weather prophets are correct. Assume that they are until we find out that they aren't. Well, anyway, I got to get to work.